I already pointed at you.
Oh, hello. How's it going? Welcome back. Welcome.
Is this another NPR episode?
Hello. How's it going? Is that the episode where I felt like shit?
Yes. That was the pre-con episode.
I felt like shit.
Yeah, you did.
Well, you have to specify because there's
Which
a
time
lot
I
of
felt
those
like shit?
times. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of those times. Hello out there.
Sounds good.
Hello. And welcome.
Is this where I pretend to be Corey?
No.
No, you don't want to do that.
No, you don't want to pretend to be Gord. Welcome to this special edition of 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swathwood. No Corey Urkel. Katrina Swathwood.
Hello.
And our guest today are Alan Berserker and Brian. We are fresh off 2 escape rooms today,
Yes.
and we felt like recording, so here we are.
How do we do?
We did excellent. The only way we know how to do is
true.
excellent.
2 for 2.
What are you doing
2
with
for
your
2.
voice?
I have adopted a radio voice.
Now you need to do the episode like Vin Scully.
Nobody can do Vin Scully. Only Vin Scully can do Vin Scully. Man, I miss Jerry Coleman.
He did.
Yeah, we lost Jerry Coleman and Tony Gwynn in a very short period of time, and it sucked. No, we all live in the county of San Diego. Well, that's as specific as I'd like to be right now. But we did 2 escape rooms today. The first one was escape from the principal's office at House of Hints.
Detention.
Escape detention. And the second one was the escape from the Unlockables. Those are the 2 highest rated escape rooms or puzzle rooms or whatever you would like to call them in San Diego. So if you would like to do an escape room, I'd recommend starting with House of Hints with one of their easier rooms. They are fun, they are informative, they are helpful, and they are a good time. And then move on to the Unlockables because it was fucking intense.
It was. There was a lot going on.
That principal's office was also a beginner one too. So if you've never done one,
It was an
it's a
intermediate.
nice starter one. That's an intermediate.
Yeah.
It might have been a beginner's one because they have at House of Hints they have 2 identical rooms and you can play against your friends. So we did a 4-on-4 today with Alan, Katrina, and myself and another friend going against Brian, Eric, Corey, and Corey's girlfriend, and we fucking stomped those pieces of shit right into the ground. We got to watch them
Fiddle around.
suck after we were done. It was excellent.
Yeah, the definition of stomp is a little loose, but you did get to watch us on TV.
We did.
That's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
And I didn't see Eric the entire time until the very end. I was like, where the fuck is Eric? The 3 of you were in the same spot, and
we're
Eric
like,
was somewhere
is
else.
he just sitting in the desk with his feet up, kicking back, and
I don't remember where Eric was.
mooching off the fruit of your labors?
No, he was a productive member of the team.
Oh,
What
He
did he do?
contributed.
I heard he fucked up a lock.
I don't remember.
well, we broke a key, so
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Oh, I didn't tell you that. Yeah, I went to the one. I don't want to get too. It doesn't matter. Spoilsies. There was that room that.
The janitor's room.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you went to the janitor's room, there was a lock there that you had to put a key in and turn. And I put it in there and snapped the key off in the lock. I was able to get the key out, but I was like, "Is this supposed to happen?" So we would have finished like a minute or 2 earlier, but they had to give the key. And she tried to tell me that key didn't go to that lock, so I didn't break it again. But I didn't even twist it hard. I just
Was it the secret room?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I didn't even twist the key. It was like immediately it just broke off in the lock.
weren't you saying you also had a lock malfunction in your room too?
Didn't they leave one unlocked?
Yeah, the directional lock on the very bottom of the lockers was not locked at all.
Wow.
Yeah, so we skipped that.
Oh.
So we didn't have to do the books.
That's
So
lame.
I think we actually beat them by 3 to 5 minutes. Then.
Yeah.
We did the books, we just didn't use them.
No, like you had to actually. There was a sequence of the books.
Yeah, like we got all that. Like we figured them out. We just never applied it. Like we went through and we used the thing to get the class schedule, and then we found the books and pulled them. But
So what he's talking about is these new locker locks where they call them speed locks, where you just use directions to unlock, and some people have difficulty putting them in because it can be a bit tricky.
I couldn't unlock it. Alan had to do it.
I've had practice with those. Like I said, I have one of those in my locker at work. So.
Well, some of the other locks we've done in rooms are like the old school ones, locker locks, where it's a 3 to the right, 2 to the left,
Master locks.
or 1 to the left, 2 to the left.
That's what the letter one. That one threw me out because I'm like, normally you're supposed to go past 0 3 times, then the number twice, and then end on the third number. And I'm like, this is just a bunch of letters on this. So
Well, once you line them up correctly, it's an open. There's no way to like reset it.
But the and the principles on where it was fun, it was the theatrical portion of it is non-existent. And as much as I love House of Hints, which I do because I've done all of their rooms and they're good people and it's a lot of fun, for the escape we were all blindfolded, led into the dark, and locked in separate containers,
shipping containers and
handcuffs, and handcuffed to the wall. So it was a little more intense because we had to just yell through the walls.
Right, and I think someone who doesn't do well by themselves, I don't know what they would do.
Well, at one point I just sat down because I knew I had to just kind of wait it out. Because Brian and I...
Well, I knew that you guys would have clues for some of the stuff in there.
Well, Brian's was like, I can direct you, and mine was, I need directions. So we were next to each other, and there was 2 holes in the middle that you could see through, so we could see 2 of the 3 puzzles that we needed to solve on the opposite side. So when I looked through his, I saw a series of lines and dots and knew that I had the key to the lines and dots. So we did that, but once Brian and I, that unlocked like a panel that helped something solve outside. But once we had that, we just had to kind of wait until you guys came in.
Well, and like with Eric, like he wasn't going to go anywhere until
I
somebody
think you
helped
and
him.
I were the only ones where we could get ourselves out of the handcuffs on our own.
Right.
And mine was, my handcuff was stuck in this slotted maze where after I unlocked the lock, I had to then move my hand through this maze so I could get it out. Which was, it wasn't a complicated maze, but it was definitely like something out of Saw. So you got all these like buzz saws hanging over my head and meat hooks with like chunks dripping down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which ones have you done there? Because we've done the detective's office.
Yeah, which is gone.
We've done... You did CSI.
Yes.
But we didn't do that together.
No.
And then we did detention.
And the pawn shop.
Pawn shop.
And the pawn
So
shop.
that's everything at that one.
Okay.
And then they have
because they had Black Ops, so they took it out.
Yeah, and then they have another place in North County where you can do them.
So how many different scenarios have you done now? 5?
I did 4 there. Yeah, I guess 5.
Okay.
I thought I did 6.
You haven't done it anywhere else?
No. So yeah, 5. And 5 and 0. Yeah. So, no. If you haven't done an escape room, I recommend it. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It was fun.
And after doing that, there was the escape one is basically you get sent to a VIP room at a big fancy party, and it's not a VIP room. It's like a human chop shop. Yeah, but then there's like a spiritual. There ends up being like a kind of a spiritual aspect to it, which is kind of cool. Which we succeeded, so you get a 25% off coupon for booking them again, and they have a haunted house one, which we are really looking forward to do.
Yeah, it was Sister's Secret.
Yeah, that was when I was looking at the top 10 rooms in San Diego. Sister's Secret was rated number 1.
Yeah, I think that had a lower overall pass. So the overall success rate on the one we did was 59%.
Something like that.
And then Sister's Secret is 54%. So it's got a pretty low success rate compared to their other 2.
Well, like when we did Pawn Shop, it was a 10% success rate.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was hard.
And it was exhausting.
This is the hardest one you did?
Yes. By far. There were so many different elements.
I think it was harder than the one we did today too, because it was done like a pawn shop, so it's so congested. Like
stuff.
There's just so much stuff.
I have to say the difference between the two, what I liked better about the second one was it was more puzzles and less like finding things under things.
I like that part.
I mean, there were really only like 2 or 3 hidden things, like the master handcuff key, that piece of paper you found.
Yeah.
There were only like a couple of hidden things. Everything else was just
Well, the master handcuff key was not hidden.
solving all these puzzles.
It was just there.
No, it was wide open, yeah.
Well, like in some of the other ones I've done at House of Hints, there's stuff in vents, there's stuff behind molding.
Yeah.
I like the hidden stuff, so that doesn't bother me.
False
But
books.
I like the fact that there's strange entryways to places in both of them. Like in the janitor closet for the first one, and then in behind that bookshelf.
Oh yeah, to get to the letter
To the room.
Yeah, with the parts in it.
With the thing.
We're
With the
trying to
stuff
be
on top.
either just nondescript or...
I don't
The
care. I
stuff-
said spoilsies at the beginning.
Yeah. It's a room full of brains and hearts and letters, and then we had to put them and sacrifice them. And
It was like letters behind like a radioactive lead shield that you could put your hands into and like fumble through the glove with gloves.
Yeah. It was fun though.
Yeah.
And it was kind of neat getting it. I've never done 2 in one day.
Yeah.
I mean, that was fun.
it's a little bit of a bummer we had to rush through dinner.
Yeah.
Or first dinner.
First dinner.
Well, I say next time we go to
Hobbits.
Sister Secrets. Sister Secret. We go to
Kira?
the revolving sushi bar.
Okay.
That'd be fun. You like sushi, don't you?
Of course.
Yeah. They have a revolving sushi bar over there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a neat little gimmick.
That's great. Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
We'll just have to wait outside for a while.
No, we could just book it ahead of time and have somebody come over, and we'll probably have a sitter next time we do one.
Probably.
But yeah, it'd be nice to be able to take our time coming home.
Oh, you mean you don't think the boys would do well in a...
No.
escape room?
They'd be running
Parker
around
wants to
like
do one.
crazy.
I wonder if they have one for younger kids.
Those kids that were in the one before us looked like
12.
not much older than him.
I'd say they were probably at least 12.
Preteens, yeah.
Yeah, Parker's turning 9. He's got a while.
I mean, but that'll be there before you know it. I mean,
I
that's
know,
not-
I
not-
agree.
it's not that far away.
I know.
Yeah, let's not make him too sad. He's already...
It's natural. You don't get cat in the cradle on me here.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, Dwight.
Little boy blue and the man on the moon.
I would say my
When
most
you coming
memorable
home,
escape
Daddy
room is the
don't
first
know
one
when.
that we did, like 2-3 years ago now.
Do you know how that came to be, the first escape room that we did? Do you know how it came to be, Alan?
How it came to be as
How it
how escape
came
rooms became
to
a thing,
be.
or
No, I had been wanting to do one for a long time, and for my 31st birthday. Yeah,
Sure.
it was my 31st birthday.
Okay.
31st birthday.
you old man.
Yeah, I know. It was so long ago too. I had to ask Katrina how old I was the other day.
He did.
Oh my!
Like, legitimately.
I was like,
He's like,
You're
I'm
34,
34,
bud."
right?
yeah, I was like, I'm 34,
It's like,
right?
yeah, you are.
No, well, Katrina and the boys took me out to breakfast, and they gave me some gifts. We went downtown, and then we went outside, and she had installed something on my phone, and Brian, Eric, Corey, and my brother Anthony had shown up, and she had built a scavenger hunt into my phone through downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And once we got all the clues, it revealed an address that took us to an escape room.
That's a fun way, like, to get
Yeah.
into one.
So it was like a whole day.
We did the escape room first, and then went to the brewery.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you warmed up by doing a scavenger hunt before
Yeah.
you went into an escape room. That's awesome.
Yeah, and one of the clues was Dick's Last Resort downtown, and she had me buy all the guys lunch, and it was fun. That was a good day. That was really cool.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was fun. I've never done anything for you for your birthday.
That's not true.
Not that cool. I did something a couple years before, and now I'm trying to remember what it was. Obviously not cool enough to remember.
What, when we went to WonderCon
No.
and I was subjected to the room? You
Yes.
were my bartender.
That's a great present.
Yeah, we watched the
She
room.
got to experience the
He
room
made
for
Corey
the first
go
time.
back home to get the movie because
Yep.
he didn't bring it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we own it now. That's what we
I
should,
do too.
We should watch after this. Is we have his
Because I have the disaster
the
artist too.
neighbors.
we have the neighbors. His like.
Oh, the follow up?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
We have it though.
Oh. We
No,
should-
but after being kidnapped and blindfolded, I want to watch a scary movie tonight. I don't know what I want to watch. There's got to
Have you watched Evil Dead yet?
no, but like if you guys are still here, you've already seen that. I wonder if there's anything on Netflix that all of us haven't seen, unless you guys are leaving as soon as we're done with this.
I don't know. The night is young and so am I.
I'm
Are
definitely
you?
not young.
Well, shut up.
I still vote on Hereditary.
But somebody would have to go rent it.
You could probably get it on PlayStation as a rental for $6.
$8,
That's a lot of fucking
or you
money.
could go down the
Like
streets of
5 or
Redbox
6.
for $1.50.
The hell's
Yeah, but that's
Redbox?
time.
You don't know what Redbox is?
Oh.
It's a rental service. They have them outside of
I
like
thought they got rid of rental
no,
services.
it's like
No.
a kiosk outside of 7-Elevens.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like $2 a movie per night, and
Yeah.
you just drop it in, and it's actually pretty convenient.
It is.
Is it? It sounds less convenient than just renting a digital copy.
It's
of
Yeah,
it.
but
way
a digital
cheaper.
copy ranges between like $6 and $10.
You can get it for like $3 to $4. But
No.
where are you renting your movies from?
Redbox for $2. You know what it is Katrina goes and rents it, and then the next day she runs back there and turns it in.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Make it part of my route.
Exercise.
It's good for you.
Yeah. No, but the escape rooms were good, and we wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
What else is good?
Ice cream,
Sex.
candy.
Sex.
Song?
Hamburgers.
You want me to contribute? All those things are good.
Burritos.
Sex.
Yeah.
Oh, Bryn.
Cereal.
Cereal is good.
Watching
What's the Mount Rushmore of cereals?
Like personally?
Yes.
Or we
Mount Rushmore, like the most iconic cereal.
No, for you.
For you.
We always talk about cereal.
It's a great topic. I love cereal.
It is.
I'll start. O's.
Yes.
God.
I'm sorry, lady.
Goodbye.
Those puffins you get at Trader Joe's.
They went
I hope
corporate. They sold out.
They sold out, huh?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Isn't it
They got
everybody's
gamos
goal?
in them.
Isn't it everybody's goal to sell out?
Yeah.
To make all kinds of money
Yeah.
and just retire.
If somebody were like, "Hey, here's $1 billion for your podcast," I'd be like, "Sold. What do you want me to talk about?"
What would you do? Would they just buy it, or would they say, "Okay, you have to talk about A, B, and C"?
You have to give me a good review on X, Y, and Z.
I give everything a B, so I mean,
Exactly. You just you give
Easy
it-
pass.
Yeah, easy A.
that's a good movie.
It is.
Oh yeah, the
Emma.
teenage retelling of the Scarlet Letter.
Yes.
Yes.
Did we won't skip the cereal
You look
topic.
confused. Have you lost weight?
I have.
How much?
About 9 pounds.
You look too thin in the face.
I'm not done yet. I got like another 10 or 15.
I don't like
Is it
it.
because you're hypertension?
Slightly. That is contributing to me exercising more, so I don't have a heart attack.
That is smart.
So that's one of them. O's. I'll put Honey Bunches of Oats on there because it's delicious.
That's a good cereal.
I can't pick more than one super sweet cereal, and I go back and forth between Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Lucky Charms.
We talked about
It's a class.
Cheerios because you said they smell like man balls.
Honey Nut Cheerios
As
smells
a-
like balls.
as a-
See, I would
Opposed to
put that on there because it's so versatile.
As opposed to other things, balls.
It just smells like balls.
Well,
As
I
soon
smell
as you left that
cardboard
night,
and
I
I hear
went-
I smell tequila.
I went and smelled the box and I didn't.
Does
You
it
just-
smell like sweaty testicles to you?
No.
It smells like Cheerios to me.
Okay.
So never mind.
Maybe he had a bad experience that combined honey.
Well, I think we already did the Mount Rushmore of cereals last time you were here because you were like you said Count Chocula.
I love all those post-Halloween cereals.
Yeah, I'm already done. I don't think I'm going to do mine, Brian.
All right.
I think we already talked about them.
Frosted Flakes are pretty good.
Life is a good cereal.
Yeah. Honey Nut Chex. What's up, dog?
Or Crispix.
Smells like Updog in here.
Those are good.
What's up, dog?
You recorded recently, right? A couple days ago.
Not that long ago. Yeah,
Did you talk about Captain Marvel?
we didn't.
The
don't think so.
magazine shoots they Brie Larson and
Yeah, maybe we
Entertainment
did.
Weekly
We
put out.
touched on
Did
it
we?
a little bit.
I want a trailer like now.
Next week.
Like
The trailer's
now?
supposed to
Next
come out
week?
this
Next week, I heard.
Thank God.
I tried this upcoming week.
What's it gonna come out with?
Okay,
Comes out in what 8?
No, I meant the trailer.
if someone was to tell, if it was Monday and somebody said, "Hey, we're gonna go to dinner next Wednesday," which Wednesday is it?
It's the fall. It's in 10 days.
Depends on when you're telling me. If you're telling me Tuesday, that means tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm telling you
Well, it would
on
be
Monday.
this Wednesday.
I have this argument because I fucking hate this. Because you could say next Wednesday, and half the people think it's the Wednesday that's coming up, and half the people think it's the following Wednesday. So
I say
always,
the following Wednesday.
I always say this upcoming.
If it's
So-and-so
Monday
day.
and you say
You'll say a
this
week from
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
it's in 2 days. If you say next Wednesday, it's in 9 days.
Yes, that's what I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's not the next one.
Yeah.
It's
Or if it's a Monday, and you
Not
say
the current week
next
we are in.
weekend.
You're not wrong, but
Like,
you're
if I
getting
say-
mad
if
over
it's-
nothing.
If it's
I know.
here and I say, well, if it's today's Saturday. If I say next weekend, then it's in a week. But if it's Monday and I say next weekend, it's like 2 weeks away.
you know what
for
else
me.
irritates me? When people don't put water on their hands before they use soap.
I don't do that.
Like, why do you put just soap on your
gets
dry ass
chunky.
hands?
I go soap and then water. I used to do it the other way, and then I just because I would have to turn the water on, water, soap, water again. I found it.
You guys at the hospital
inefficient.
probably just use hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah, we actually have to get checked off on our hand washing technique.
Really?
Yeah, you get graded on it in nursing school. When I would train CNAs, my first job, where I would have to, I was the director of nursing, I would put this stuff on their hands, like this lotion that glows under a UV light, and then make them wash their hands, and then I would inspect it with a UV light, and it's a good educational tool to point out.
Was it always around their fingernails they missed?
Yeah, cuticles are a big one, fingernails, wrist, especially.
I do hands, and then I go like this, and then I go like this to each the backs of my hands.
Soap isn't what matters. What matters is you're doing
masturbatory movement right
the
now.
friction and the doing it for at least 15 to 30 seconds.
They got pretty serious with us when Parker was in the NICU.
Oh,
about
yeah.
how you wash.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Up to
You
your
have to go up
elbows.
to the elbow.
Because when you have less than 28 days years old, they don't have an immune system.
Yeah.
So anything. The other big thing, too, is you don't have a separation of systems like you do in a healthy adult, where if I get pneumonia, it typically stays in the lungs unless it gets really bad and then becomes septic. When they're that young, all ports are open, so they get a urinary infection, and it just ravages everywhere in their body because they don't have that immune system built up yet.
That was nice. It was a nice conversation.
You're welcome.
What were we talking about before?
That
Cereal.
I fed a raccoon.
Yes.
Parker. When somebody does something stupid, I just immediately insert
think it's
my
Parker.
kids' names.
So I walked outside to hatch some 7K eggs for Go, and there was a raccoon outside, and he was across the street, and then I knelt down, and he scurried across the street to me like a little dog, and every time I stood up, he would back up, and then I would kneel down, and he would come forward, but I didn't want him to come forward and like eat my eye and give me rabies. So Katrina was nice enough to give me slices.
You know how many people die of rabies a year?
bread. Not me.
11.
Is it 11 a year?
It's ridiculous.
It's like astronomically low.
Yeah.
Astronomically low.
But you know what the fatality though of untreated rabies is?
100%.
99%.
Is it one person, right?
There's only one person in human existence who has survived rabies without being
Is it Harry Potter?
untreated,
vaccinated.
right?
Untreated. They did put her in a medically induced coma. It was a huge deal. Like she graduated high school, I think back like 2013. But yeah, get your rabies shots.
What happens when you're in a human and you get rabies? Like you turn feral? Would I be a zombie?
Would I be a zombie?
You get what's called hydrophobia, where, and I'll show you afterwards. I'll show you some videos of it where there's some cases you'll still see it in the third world with these really bad cases of rabies, and like they'll put a glass of water in front of them, and they'll just they just can't control it, and there's some very weird neurological changes that go on with rabies if it's untreated. That's
strange.
It's a big deal. Like if there ever.
So if there's rabies zombie outbreak.
If there was ever going to be anything close to a zombie,
Squirt
it'd probably be some sort of
Boat?
some sort of
Squirt gun.
rabies.
Yeah, but
Virulent rabies.
Super
strain.
soaker. No, but here's my question then.
Like a cat.
What is the survival rate for people that are treated for rabies?
Oh, like 100%.
Yeah. So if you get bit by something, just go to the doctor.
Yeah, you get your immunoglobulin. It takes about 2 weeks. You get like a shot. God, I don't remember the shot schedule, but it's like
Pretty aggressive.
day
right?
1, 3, 4, 7, 10, something like that.
Where do they just give it to you in your arm, or is it in your stomach? Or in
So
your
that's
ass?
an old wives' tale.
Or
I
the
think
stomach?
that's just meant to scare you to just stay away from stray animals. But you remember that?
Yeah, don't feed
They have to
raccoons.
put it through your belly button to reach the spinal cord, so that they give you that. That's not true.
So it's just a regular shot in the arm.
Yeah.
Does it hurt worse, or I guess you wouldn't know?
Worse?
Does it hurt more or less than a fucking Tdap?
Tdaps are notoriously sore.
Yeah. That shit hurt like I got punched in the arm for like 4 days.
What's a Tdap?
Tetanus.
Oh,
I just got one.
Every 10 years.
I got one. I cut myself on my braces once, and I had to get a tetanus shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say typically, within 5 years, 5 to 10, if you.
I was putting a rubber band on, and there was this really sharp edge, and it like gutted me, and it was infected, so I had to go get a tetanus shot.
So you get some antibiotics, life-saving tetanus. Get your rabies shot.
So now there's going to be a raccoon outside waiting for
shoot
bread.
I wouldn't shoot.
I said I just throw a rock at it.
Just stand up. It's not going to come at you. Well, actually, he was coming at when I was standing at the door. He was coming at me.
Yeah.
That's because I
Towards
fed him,
my door.
I
Have
fed
you
him
seen
bread.
The Great Outdoors?
Maybe.
And they're devious little fuckers.
Weren't we just talking about John Candy?
Yeah.
That was Pop.
So
Yeah, it was.
when we lived at our old house, the dog started barking like crazy in the middle of the night. I went out there in my boxers without my contacts in, just like looking. There's 2 possums on the fence.
Fuck possums.
And possums are the worst. I hate possums.
Their stubby little legs and their like
They
awkward
hiss.
run.
They hiss, yeah. So they're just. I was working on something in the house, and I had a piece of a PVC pipe, and I get in my best Spartan stance.
He's gonna spear this fucker.
What's a Spartan stance?
I a spear chucker. I'm gonna chuck this spear.
Did you grab like the trash can lid as your shield?
No, me and the mama duns. We marched on the beach. So I fucking get in my stance, and I never did javelin, but I can tell you that I'm fucking pretty accurate with throwing shit. Like,
he is.
You give me something long and white. You give me something to throw. Like we used to have like these cylinder shaped wood pieces at Home Depot and stuff, and I can fucking hit a target.
Nice. You should do axe throwing at like a Renaissance fair.
Oh, we should. So I get out there and I squat a little bit. My knees are bent. And I chuck this thing, and it fucking hits the possum dead on. Boom! And now you can't see my hands right here. And as it hits the possum, I'm showing you guys, it hits him. He goes, turns his feet, grabs the piece of ABS pipe, and goes back onto the fence. I was like, motherfucker.
He just pulled it out of the air?
One movement. He turned on it as it hit him.
He like used it as a device.
And used it as a device to get back onto the fence.
Yeah.
You're amazed that a wild animal did some sort of animalistic feat?
It was like acrobatic.
It's like
it could have been in Cirque du Soleil for possums.
Isn't that what they do, man?
It was pretty quick. I was surprised.
Yeah, they're so ugly.
They are.
I hate possums.
James says that occasionally people will bring possums into the vet. Like, oh, I hit this in my car. I'm like, who the fuck is bringing a possum to the vet? Are you going to pay the bill?
Wasn't there a lady on Tosh.0 that had possums as pets once?
People have everything as pets.
I
I heard
take-
skunks are pretty good as pets.
Did I tell you my snake story?
No.
So
You fed it a possum.
No, I did not feed it a possum.
Okay. Would you? I would.
No. So working in the ER, a lot of people do stupid things.
Snake up the butt?
So sometimes, like if I was working in Arizona, so most commonly you'd get scorpion stings or like spider bites, things like that. Occasionally when someone's stung by a scorpion, they'd catch it and put it in a jar and bring it.
So you can see which one stung them?
Well, there's only one type of scorpion in the Southwest you have to worry about that does anything for a human, and a grown adult human it really doesn't do much for, and that's the bark scorpion.
Does it just hurt?
Yeah.
Alan, you add such a layer of knowledge to this podcast. Like, it's so impressive.
So, this guy brings this scorpion, and I go, what am I supposed to do with this? And he's like, well, you just so you know what anti-venom to give me. I'm like, we're not going to give you anti-venom. I'm not Batman. I'm not going to put this in the crime computer and figure out what there's only one type of scorpion in this region with one type of scorpion vaccine, and you don't. In my entire career as a nurse, I've only given the antidote for scorpion venom once in my career, and that was to a 1.5-year-old that bunch of scorpions crawled into the crib. He had 30 stings on his
Oh my god.
poor little body. Kid was really sick. Babies are probably the most at risk for these scorpion stings, and we had to fly the kiddo out. He lived, but so you get people doing dumb redneck things like.
I'm gonna chase a scorpion.
So
Like
this guy
burning their
comes
Nikes
in
on their shoes?
with a snake bite to his leg, and there's two types of snakes in Arizona that are prevalent. You got the diamondback, which is bigger, and then you got the Mojave green, a little bit smaller, a little bit more aggressive, but out of all the venomous snakes in North America, they're all what are called pit vipers. They're all in the crotidid family, with the exception of the water moccasin, which uses a different type of venom. So there's only one type of anti-venom.
Water moccasins will fuck you up.
Yes, they will. But there's only one type of anti-venom, right?
I've got a story.
We
about
call it
this.
crowfab. And it's specifically for these type of pit viper bites, right? Because they're hemolytic toxin. They cause your blood to clot and do all
He's
sorts
a
of nasty
nurse. He needs to know this
I
stuff.
love this, man.
So
This is like school.
I know. I love it.
We're all just sitting back
that being
listening.
said, right, you come in with a snake bite, you're only going to get one anti-venom if you get anti-venom, because most bites actually are dry bites. You don't get a lot of venom. So this guy comes in, he's bit on his leg by Mojave green, and then he comes in with 3 more bites on his arm because he tried to catch it, and he brings it to me in a mason jar. And
Here's my trophy.
it's summertime in Arizona, and when you work in a teaching hospital, July is when all the first year residents start, all your interns. So like the first season of Scrubs, basically.
Okay.
So I got a bunch of JDs in the department. They're all new. They're like eager to learn, but they've never seen a patient before in their life. All they know
And they're
are
all
books.
lost.
Yes. So this guy, we're checking him out. Yeah, of course, the original bite was dry, and the 2 or 3 he got on his arm were already starting to swell. So, Crofab is a very expensive drug, by the way. It's like, I think $40,000 a vial.
There was a guy
Don't
recently
get
that
bit
had
by
to take
snakes.
27.
Yeah, it's very, very expensive stuff. So, we're getting all this stuff ready. We're making cuts. We're waiting for surgery to come in to get him into surgery so we can try and save the limb. And the residents get really amazed. They're like, "Oh wow, I've never seen a Mojave green," and they're passing the snake around to each other. And of course, you have a snake that's stuck in a mason jar.
It's pissed.
It's pissed. And I shit you not, like this comedy of errors that
Don't
goes
fucking
on.
tell me somebody dropped the goddamn
Yes,
jar. Oh,
somebody drops
fuck.
the goddamn thing in the department. So
Glass shatters everywhere.
glass shatters everywhere. So you have all these big, tall, young, fit-looking white dudes trampling
Screaming for
over
their
the
life.
4'11" attending doctor. So they're getting the hell out of there. And I hate to say this, but I was the only guy nurse on. So everyone's like freaking out. Patients are freaking out. Everyone's jumping on beds.
You killed that snake, didn't you?
No, I took apart the IV pole in one of the rooms, and I used that to pin the snake's head down.
So you used that as a
Fucking
snake hook.
MacGyver, homie.
It's not like it was just
That's Batman-esque right there.
it was just reacting. I
He
wasn't
had
even
to
thinking.
he had
It
to
was just-
fix
I was
the
like,
problem.
I needed something long to pin it, so this works. I use IV poles for everything. So I pin it down, and I'm like, hey, grab me a pillowcase. So like, what are you gonna do with it? I'm just shove
Put it in the
grab me a
fucking pillowcase.
Grab me the pillowcase. I shove it in the pillowcase. I go out to the ambulance bay door. I whirl it and just chuck it out there, and everyone's like freaking out. And I'm like, just call animal control. And why on earth are you passing this around, looking at it like?
How big is this snake?
Like 4 feet.
Okay.
Smaller. Like I said, diamondbacks are much bigger. They can get like 8 feet. They're pretty massive.
Is
But
this is a green what?
Mojave green?
Is it like leaner?
Yeah, it's like a rattlesnake. They're a bit meaner.
James, Anthony, and I have all caught rattlesnakes in the wild with our hands.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's because their dad is a fucking crazy person. Anyways, so there's this hurricane that hit, and now it's a tropical storm, and
Sure.
it's dumping
Florence.
40 plus inches of rain on the Carolinas. And as if that isn't enough, I mean, it's sad shit. 11 people have died so far, I believe. And
Storm surges, just
storm surges and
destroying
stuff.
everything.
But did you hear that they're telling people to beware of snakes?
Yeah, the floodwaters are going to bring them in.
Are going to bring the snakes, and they said that snakes are going to be hiding in people's homes. So as if these waters weren't bad enough, when you get to go back to your house,
and go through all your shit.
go through all your shit that's damaged, you got to check for deadly snakes.
Well, you know how people get freaked out about brown recluse spiders.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't
Is there-
have those here, do we?
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yeah,
They're-
they're big in the Southwest.
You need to spray
But they're
behind
the
the house.
the reason why
We
they're
have bad
called
spiders.
recluse is they don't really like to interact. Homes the average home probably has several thousand in their home.
Great. My husband's not going to go to sleep tonight.
Probably not.
Is that one of the 8 spiders you eat a year? Brown recluse?
No. But they don't bother you. They're probably keeping everything else at bay. So usually when most people say they have a spider bite, it's probably not a spider bite.
What is it?
It was probably something that because spiders are not a vector for bacteria, so probably it was their dirty ass fingernails that were scratching like a bug bite, and it gets infected, or they were doing meth and they were picking their skin. Usually that's what happens.
I've seen that.
Yeah, nasty MRSA.
Yeah.
Well,
Anybody else have any questions for Alan?
Yeah, I didn't mean to go on that tangent, but
No,
We
I-
need to-
we welcome it.
If I opened I've been talking about this behind the scenes for a while, but you can apply for a Google number, I think it is, and people can call you and ask you questions. Could we get you on once a month? and I'll put the
nursing hour.
I'll put not nursing hour, but just any question, and I'll open up the line.
well, I have to preface that any medical questions, I technically cannot give you medical advice.
Yeah, but it could be about anything. You just fucking told us a bunch of shit about snakes.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna open up a line. I'll as soon as we're done here, I'll start
working on
that
it.
process, and I'll pool questions for a month, and then we'll have Alan answer them on an episode. We gotta come up with some like clever name for it though. Alan's
Q&A.
No.
It's pretty basic stuff.
Alan's.
Ooh, here. Why don't you tweet your ideas on what you think the segment should be called
Yeah,
at 9 to 5 Nerds?
yeah. We'll get like 3. 3 people tweeting.
It needs to be something like
One of them will be Alan. it'll be Alan, Josh, and I'm trying to think if we've got any like other devout followers. That's probably about it.
Hashtag Potter Family.
Yeah, those are some good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's got to be Alan something that starts with an A. Like
Atrium.
You want to go with some sort of alliteration?
yeah,
He likes those.
Alan's awesome.
Laboratory.
Answers.
Alan's awesome answers.
Okay.
Nice.
I like it.
I don't know everything.
I know.
Alan's astounding answers.
There, that's better.
Yeah.
Astounding Alan's answers of amazingness.
Of astonishment.
Yeah.
God.
That'll only be available on the Patreon.
Is that like the gold elite tier?
Yeah, we're gonna have this show once a week, and then we'll have fucking like 60,000 shows that are on Patreon that you can get for $5. That's
Sponsored by Vape Nation.
Vape Nation. I really want to watch a scary movie.
You keep saying that.
What time is it?
What is your favorite
time
scary
for it.
movie?
9:15.
It's only 9:15. I can still squeeze in a scary movie, huh?
We don't have anything to do super early.
I do.
What is your
What?
favorite
Work?
scary
Training.
movie?
At what time?
8.
It's not super early. See,
It is to him.
The thing is you're going to get up between 6 and 7 o'clock tomorrow, anyways, regardless if you had anything to do tomorrow.
Probably.
There you go. So you can watch a scary movie. Alan's just DTF.
Pretty much.
Yeah. What you're gonna get like a proposal of marriage on this line.
Oh, I highly doubt that, but okay.
They're gonna be like Alan. Astonishing Alan's answers of astonishment, or astonishing answers.
Sure.
Okay.
I like it.
We'll write it down.
Yeah. What are we at, Katrina?
37.
That's it?
Yeah.
Really? We gotta
You suck.
We gotta get like 15 minutes in here. Oh yeah, what the fuck
So-
have you said?
What's the biggest? All the hype and all the hullabaloo is talking about Marvel's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
You're playing it currently.
Yes.
And he's
I
upset
finished
about
it.
it. I'm not going to buy any more games.
Wait, you're
Yeah.
upset now?
No, it's like. So I got it Friday, and I got to play a little bit on Saturday and a little bit on Sunday.
Nice.
Monday I worked.
Mm-hmm.
We had soccer practice. We had dinner. We had homework. I'm tired.
Yeah, I get it.
Tuesday I can't remember what we did. Probably caught up on stuff. Just because Wednesday and Thursday we have soccer. Friday I'm like,
You had an appointment on Tuesday. You had your doctor's
Oh
appointment.
yeah, I had a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. And then Friday we took the boys to a friend's house. Some friends of ours just moved in on the street. And I was gonna get home and I was gonna play, and then I'm like, I'm just too fucking tired. So I played a little bit today, but I'm like, if I can't play a game while the boys are in sports, which is fine, they're more important, then why don't I just wait for it to be on sale and buy it later?
Thank you.
I think that's fair.
You have time.
That's very true. You've also said, though, that you don't like burning through games.
I don't.
So what would be, maybe 3 days a week you can sit down for a couple hours?
My thing is when Katrina goes on her run on the weekends, that's when I put in all my time to Shadows of War and Fallout and stuff. When she's on a run, I play Bad Dad. I say, get the tablets, kids. I'm going to play an hour of this game.
But I feel like it's also one of those games where you can play for 15, 20 minutes, an hour, 3 hours. And you're able to, it's pretty good where you can pick up and
and
start
play.
at any point.
Those are typically the kind of games I need to invest my time in.
And which is why I look forward to those sandbox.
I think when he
games.
starts talking about his nighttime routine is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Whose? Mine?
Yours.
Why is it ridiculous?
It just requires a lot of time. So
I have to physically and mentally
Power down. And it takes like a good hour. So if you factor that in, by the time, I finally get him up to actually go to sleep, it's when do I go to bed?
10:30.
Sometimes, but it ranges. There was one night I was tired and it was like 9:15. I was like, I'm done with
Sure.
life today. And
When I was getting up at 4:45 to go to work, I went to sleep between 9 and 9:30 every night. Now it's a little later, but I'll take my contacts out, I'll put on something on TV that I don't care about, and I'll start to just get comfortable on the couch. And I've got to do that for like 45 minutes to an hour before I can actually go to sleep.
I do the same thing. So when I get home in the morning, it's let the dog out, play with the dog for a little bit, eat breakfast, sit down on the couch, and have background noise, pass out on the couch for a couple hours, wake up at like noon, stumble into bed, and then wake up at
More
5.
sleep.
Yeah.
Does your body ever just feel like shit from sleeping on the couch?
No, actually, my couch is comfortable. I like
So is
my
mine.
couch. There
but
are some nights. Well, so if I'm sleeping on the couch, I'm usually just sleeping in the recliner.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's nights where I've just been so out of it that I don't even wake up until my alarm goes off, and I've slept all day on the couch.
I wish that somebody would take the time to make Tempur-Pedic cushions for couches. So when I fall asleep, I don't feel like shit the next day sometimes. Like I put my, you people out there can't see that. I face the couch, the back of the couch. I put my left leg where the divot is, and I dig my right foot into the couch, and I'm instantly comfortable. But when I wake up, I have a stiff neck.
I got my couch from Jerome's, and theirs has like memory foam cushions.
Living spaces.
Yeah.
I like these couches. I like ones that don't have detachable backs. These are in the
One solid piece.
yeah.
Kids ruin stuff.
Yeah.
So do dogs.
Bryn doesn't really ruin
Dags.
things except the carpet.
Yeah,
You like dags?
Yeah, Gozer gets a little rambunctious with stuff. He takes over that one couch that's in there.
That's his.
It's a big clumsy dog.
He's a big clumsy oaf, man. He's just
I'm sorry, my kid walked down the driveway and fell over himself this week. So
Yeah,
that's one big clumsy oaf.
yeah. That sounds like something my dog does. Like chasing birds, he'll jump into the air trying to catch one, and he'll crash into the house. Like, I mean, yeah, he's not the brightest dog. I love him, but he's not the brightest bulb in the box.
No. I heard that.
Mm-hmm. Robert.
Bzz,
Little toot there.
bzz.
Chili was a great idea between...
Yeah, were you like blowing ass in there? Was that you?
No, I was
Was that you, Brian?
uncomfortably holding it in the whole time.
At least once, yeah.
Somebody was blowing ass in one of the small rooms in that, and I think it was Eric because everywhere I went, he stank.
Well, he didn't want chili on his burger.
And he got it anyway.
That place is pretty good.
What, Tommy's?
Yeah.
Oh,
October
so
11th,
good.
Murder Falcon comes out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yay!
You ever read any more of Extremity?
I haven't gotten to it yet.
No worries. That's one that you'll read, and I will have finished it
Hey,
after recommending it to you. Yeah.
It's true. Hopefully you'll dig into Preacher
Yeah.
by the time you get back.
We fly out in a couple weeks, so I'm going to take it on
Oh,
the
yeah.
plane.
That's smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling Robert we should get together and have like a quarterly book club where we all agree to read something and talk about it every 3 months.
Robert's not going to read anything.
Graphic novel, I would.
It's got to have pictures.
Yeah. It just gives me it's the time aspect of it.
It helps you
That's the book.
speed through it, yeah.
Who are you going to kill? Better not be me.
Have you ever seen any Friday the 13th?
No.
Or Nightmare? That's what I was
It's
doing.
key, ma.
I always kill. That's what I remember it being as a kid, so it's always what I say.
And then they start off, I think for some reason it's like part 6. They go, Jason.
Do they really?
No. Part 6 is the one where they do the James Bond spoof opening. Where it's Jason walking by, he turns around, throws the machete at
I
someone.
remember that.
Yeah.
You haven't
What?
They did that in a Friday the 13th movie?
Part 6.
You haven't
Jason
seen
lives.
You haven't seen any Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th,
No.
have you? Wow. None.
That's a lot of movies.
There's a new
Or-
Halloween coming out.
And no Rockies. It's supposed to be pretty good, too.
I know. I love those.
God, Halloween's got some of the most convoluted timelines and retcons, and I like Halloween 3, even though it has nothing to do with Michael Myers, because their original plan was they were supposed to be like an anthology movies. But Halloween 3,
Is that the Pumpkinhead guy?
yeah,
I may have seen it.
it gets a bad rep because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. But 4, 5, and 6 were fucking terrible.
That doesn't include the Rob Zombie ones.
No, it does not. No, those we're not a fan of those either.
I just remember the second one being just horrifically violent.
Oh yeah. They upped the ante in the hospital.
Yeah, that was with the nurse who Octavia Spencer, right?
Yeah, in the hot tub the therapy pool.
I think so. I just remember him stabbing somebody over and over and over, and I was just
Did it make you sick?
What?
Did it make you sick?
No, that Evil Dead made me sign a kind of sick panic attack-y.
With
that
the
one,
remake, or
yeah, I was in the theater and I had a panic attack in the theater.
No,
I have
shit.
no idea why. It's never happened
which
before or
which
since.
one was it?
It was this.
No,
the
which scene
scene?
was it? Yeah.
When right after the girl is cutting her cheek open in the shower, and she's stabbing the guy with the needle, and then he pulls it out. I don't know. I had seen it in the trailer, and for some reason I'm sitting in the theater, and I start to get really hot and shaky, and I'm like, something's wrong, and I had to leave the theater for like 5 minutes and come back in.
That's because you are a normal human being.
It was a trip, man. I
You
used to get on some of those rotten.com websites when I was younger and see that shit, and I thought I was pretty
God,
desensitized.
I've done my share of shock sites when I was younger.
And after you
We
watch
all did.
an Al Qaeda beheading video, you kind of stop.
I don't watch any of that stuff.
No, it's not worth it.
It's
It's been a long time since I've gone.
been a
down
long
that
time since I
route.
watched those, but they don't faze me anymore.
No,
Yeah.
We've seen some pretty gnarly shit in person, I'm assuming.
Hey, I mean, sure, but it's also kind of you compartmentalize it.
Rewind for a second. What were we talking about? Oh, I had a panic attack watching the second Hobbit movie.
He did.
I did.
Was
And
it Gollum?
I didn't tell anybody that
No,
I
it
was
was
having it until
the
afterwards. I thought
dragon.
I was going to die.
Smaug.
Yeah, it was Smaug. And here's why. I was driving up to Sacramento. Katrina was already in Sacramento.
Sure.
And I worked all day. I took a quick nap. I went and picked up the kids, and I drove up to Sacramento by myself with the boys when they were little. I had...
You must have been exhausted.
I was. Because it's an 8-hour drive. I had 3 double shots, Starbucks double shots espresso, and like 2 or 3 Red Bulls.
Well, that's why you had a panic attack.
No, and then I went to sleep, woke up super early, and her stepmom's fiance said, "Hey, let's go to the movies. The new Hobbit movie's out." And we went and saw it at midnight. The next day, I had only had a couple hours of sleep. That I know why I had one.
Sure.
And I was like super sleep deprived.
Your heart rate was probably like 160, 180.
It's 2:30 in the morning, and I started to feel my heart kind of like I try to explain it as like it feels like it's trying to turn over. It feels like it's somersaulting in my chest, and I was like, and I'm trying to hide that I'm like I can't breathe, and I had it for the last it's the longest one I've ever had. I had it for the last 15 minutes of the movie, and the drive home I felt like I was gonna die. And then I went home and fell asleep, and I probably slept for 10 or 12 hours. Then I felt way better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that was definitely a heart palpitation.
yeah, I was scared.
Yeah.
Imagine something actually doing somersaults in your body.
What do you mean?
Dude,
Like kids?
You remember when
Oh.
that energy drink Redline came out?
Yes.
So when Redline came out, I had 4 or 5 19-year-olds that were working an overnight job, and so it's called SVT when your heart rate's so fast that it can't really reset itself. And I'd have 4 or 5 people in 1 week with SVT, and it's not the treatment for that is not pleasant. We give a drug that's got an incredibly short half-life. It's only therapeutic in your blood for 30 seconds. So, but its job is to stop your heart temporarily so that your natural pacemaker can kick in. And everybody I've ever given it to says it feels like being kicked in the chest by a horse. It does not feel very good. Every single time I've had to give that because of some crazy energy drink like that.
Those things are awful.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had an energy
I
drink.
remember when they started doing what was it, Four Loko, and before Four Loko it was Sparks.
Yeah.
Where they had the hardcore energy drink with the alcohol. That,
A friend of mine used to drive drinking Four Locos because she's fucking stupid.
Is she still your friend?
Not to the extent that she was.
is she incarcerated and or alive?
No, she's got some issues, but no, she will never listen to this. I don't think she knows it exists, but she's a dumbass.
Oh, well, there are those that exist.
Yeah, that is a chalk that down to poor life choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
I once had to drive down to what's the concert area downtown?
The concert
4th and
area.
B?
No, the other one.
House of Blues?
Yes. So I had to drive down to House of Blues. I got a phone call at 10:30 at night from the security guard, and they're like, "Hey, are you Brian?" I said, "Yeah." And they're like, "Hey, do you know so and so?" And I said, "Yeah." They're like, "We need you to come get her because she is just
Were you involved with this person romantically?
Not romantically. I'll leave it at that.
I'm going to say, why would they call you then?
I was the last person in her phone that she called and or texted. So I drove down there, and by the time I was halfway downtown, and they called me again, and they said, yeah, some good Samaritan called 911. So they're taking her to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and at like 12:30 in the morning, and she was in the hospital.
Stomach pump?
No, she was just full of IVs
You don't stump
and
the
just
stomach anymore.
Stump the pummic?
You don't pump the stomach. No.
and she was gone. I mean, she was just completely out of it, and she ended up falling asleep, and I left. So I just make sure she wasn't dead.
You just get an IV now?
Not even that. It depends on how drunk you are, but most of the time we just let you sleep it off.
Charcoal.
She did that.
No, you
I
don't
did
do-
do charcoal once.
You don't do charcoal for alcohol.
Why?
Muscle relaxers.
How many did you take?
Too many in high school.
Did you on purpose?
No, like I took one and I didn't feel that bad, and I took another one, and then I went to work at Del Taco as a grill cook. So I somehow stumbled onto the grill. My boss sent me home. I somehow drove from Del Taco to, at the time I was in church, to my discipler's house, who called my mom and took me to the hospital or urgent care or whatever, and I had to get charcoal, and that shit makes your shit black.
What was the length of time between when you ingested and when you drank the charcoal?
3 hours, maybe.
That you should not have gotten the charcoal then. That charcoal would have did absolutely nothing for you.
I was 17. This was a very long time ago.
Charcoal only works if you get it within an hour of ingestion, because it's supposed to block your body absorbing it. After 3 hours, it's already dissolved and in your blood.
Yeah, it wasn't within an hour, maybe 2. But yeah, that stuff tastes terrible.
Yep.
I had a migraine for 4 days, 3 days.
Migraines are terrible.
Like I'm good at getting like one every like 5 or 6 years now. One of those ones that just blinds you and you can't do anything.
You're completely debilitated.
Yeah.
I get those every now and then.
Well, I had one. I was in junior high, and I had one for 3 days. I couldn't get up. I couldn't be anywhere near light. And my grandma was just constantly cycling cold washcloths over my eyes for 3 days. And after 3 days, she's like, "You need to go to the doctor." So they took me to the doctor, and they gave me morphine. They gave me a shot of morphine, and I remember trying to walk to the car. And as I walked, you know when Michael Scott walks down the stairs behind the desk? Each one of my steps became closer to the ground. And then I remember thinking that I was like, I can't move my legs, but I can move my arms like a tree. Like I'm rooted to the ground. And then I got home and I fell asleep, and I think I slept for like a day. And then I woke up and I felt better. That's my migraine story.
Nice.
Yeah. Or my morphine story.
Well, you know, it is named after the Greek god Morpheus.
Is it?
Who is the god of sleep.
It was great.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Parker went to sleep when he had his gas.
Yeah. They gave him morphine, huh?
Yeah, they did.
There's interesting names like that in cinema, like you said with Morpheus and morphine. The Greek goddess of mazes is Ariadne, and they named Ellen Page's character that in Inception.
Yeah.
She was the one that came up with the mazes, and I thought that was really clever.
Well, and that's why Morpheus was named Morpheus in The Matrix as
Yeah.
well. You know, is this a dream? And, by the second and third movie, it doesn't matter. But at least in the first one, it gave you a little bit of questioning.
Did
A lot of things in the second and third one didn't matter.
there was
Like the movies themselves.
there was I think Michael Caine came out in the last week or two and said what the ending
Michael
to
Caine?
Inception was. I
he
didn't
did.
read it because I didn't want to
The
know.
Caine Mutiny?
Huh?
The Caine Mutiny? I always was of the same thought that Christopher Nolan has said a couple times. The ending doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The whole point of him walking away from the top is whether or not he's in a dream or not, it doesn't matter. The fact that he's been able to accept his own happiness and to get closure on that and get what he really wanted, and that was to be with his family again.
It was any scene that Michael Caine was in was reality and not a dream. And since he was at the end, he really got to go to his kids. There you go.
Oh, that's cool.
You didn't have to read it. There's that thing in my ear again. It's gone.
Is it like that giant moth that the umpire pulled out of that dude's ear at the baseball game a few weeks back?
No.
You see that shit? There was an ump or a player or a coach, and they took a pair of tweezers and pulled a moth, like a big moth, out of this guy's ear. It was gross.
It happens.
I got a
Whoa.
fly stuck in my ear when I was riding my bike one time.
Sometimes they get stuck in there and they can't get back out.
Because they're freaking out. It's
Everybody
a tiny little
poops.
cavity.
Sometimes
Well,
it
yeah,
hurts.
it sucks because it's irritating. They're rubbing up against your eardrum. It freaks you out because you're hearing all this stuff going on. Typically, you come in the hospital for that. We'll drip some lidocaine into it and just kind of flush the ear out, irrigate it. And...
I had a bee fly in my truck while I was driving it this week.
Oh man, so that'll happen on the 94. It happened when I drive
On
parts
the 94.
a lot, where you just driving and then all of a sudden just a swarm of bees out of nowhere just explode on your windshield, and you're like, oh cool, I had the windows down, my arm hanging out, and there's just 1,000 bees in the truck. It's like that scene from Tommy Boy. You're like, bees in the car.
Go ahead and let the dogs out, or the bees.
the
The dogs with bees in their mouths. When they bark, they shoot bees at you.
Anyone?
Dane Cook?
Simpsons.
Mr. Burns.
I was saying Boo Earns.
We get bees in the kitchen
Yeah, we get bees in our kitchen.
all the time.
Get bees in my orange tree.
You get bees in your bonnet.
This bee bit me. My bottom hurts.
Come here, Bort.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, were you talking to me? No,
Well,
my son is also
named
named
Bort.
Bort. And then don't they do like an announcement like 10 minutes later, we're all out of Bort license plates?
Every time I look at personalized license plates, I always look to see if someone's funny enough to make a Bort one.
I think they have them at Universal.
Do they have them at Universal?
Because they have a fucking...
The
They
Simpsons.
have to.
Yeah.
That would be such a lost opportunity.
My buddy Fabian is always like, they never have my name. They never have my name. So when I was in Universal, I found a Fabian and I bought it. And I gave it to him.
They never have my name spelled the way I spell it.
Is that different than the way that most
A lot of people spell it Allen.
Really?
But my God, I've had people misspell my
Isn't
name.
Alan the alien Allen?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're ALAN.
Allen,
Yeah.
which is a very common spelling as well. But I've had people throw I's in it, Y's in it.
Alien?
Yeah, like
I've been made a dude, so there is that. Katrino. That was all.
that sounds like an evil like Italian counterpart.
It came through
Like
on one of my faxes to my files.
Hey, Katrino, we're going to tie you up to the railroad.
Well, it's not like it's a
Waluigi.
There's no...
mistyping. The O was on the opposite side of the keyboard.
There's no other way to spell Robert. I've gotten a lot of different pronunciations of
Roberto.
my last name. Slothmore was my favorite. And it was an English teacher.
Did they even read
I
it?
think the most common ones where they drop the H, right, and just Swatwood.
Yeah, I get that. Or
Oliver
Swathwood.
got Southwood.
Yeah, they sent Oliver Southwood home. Well, Swathwood's not very common. You'll see Southwoods more than you see. We sound like we're fucking hobbits.
Go on.
We're going to change our last name to Underfoot. Or
Yeah.
Underhill.
Create our own last name.
Yeah. One of my I guess my sister-in-law,
Yes.
one of her sisters, when she got married, her and her husband combined last names in a weird way to make their own last name. Costs a lot of money to change your name into a completely new thing. It's more money than if you were just to take somebody's last name. But yeah.
There's a guy in some other country that changed his name to like 14 superheroes.
Really?
Bruce Wayne, Logan, America, fucking something or other.
I was walking out of one of my schools
maybe it's a boy.
I was walking out of one of my schools one day, and they have schools have those like inspirational bulletin boards.
Did it have you take you never make 100% of the shots you don't take?
You don't
Wayne
take.
Gretzky, Michael
Scott. But this said, "Be marvelous at whatever." And like the Marvel, it was hyphenated in between Marvel and list, like Marvel Comics, Marvel superheroes, and they had Batman, Superman, and the Flash on there. I'm like,
Wrong fucking superheroes,
No.
man.
no.
They're just out of touch adults, man.
No. Did not one person walk by this and say, hey, these aren't... You know what's funny
Wrong
is
universe.
the office manager of that school, I talked with about superheroes and Netflix shows for like 20 minutes one time. And then
I just think that it doesn't matter.
it hurt.
It hurt.
It hurt. Did it hurt your nerd
It
pride?
physically hurt me. Nah, I didn't care that much. But it's just like, come on.
Whenever I have like little kiddos at work, you've seen the pulse oximeter where the little tape with the red light on it that goes on your finger.
Yes.
So you used to tell them like, oh, you'd be like ET, it's your heart light. And then you get people going, what? Who? What? So I was like, yeah, man, we're gonna wire you up. You're gonna be like Iron Man. And they go, oh, cool. You have to change your approach to get with the times.
That works?
Yeah. Most of the time the kids aren't old enough to talk, so I'm really just talking to myself.
All right. What are we at, Katrina?
You're at an hour.
Okay, we're going to stop.
Sounds good.
Bye. No, we're going to set we're going to set up this line for Alan. And you'll be able to call in and ask. And I won't listen to him. We'll just play him.
You're not going to screen them?
No.
You don't want to do
That's
like
dangerous.
We won't screen him.
Okay. All right. You want to live dangerously? I'll live dangerously.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
You're opening yourself to some crazy shit.
And it'll be fun.
Oh.
I was going to do one anyways, but it seems like a fun thing to have Alan on once a month to answer questions.
So you're going to read the questions without screening them?
Yeah, no, I'm going to play him on here.
Oh, they do that on SNL. Or they did when Bill Hader was Stefan. He would read the cue cards and he had no idea what they would say. That's why he laughed all the time.
I was listening to an interview with Macaulay Culkin, and when he hosted SNL, his dad refuses to let him use cue cards, so he had to memorize every skit, even the ones that didn't make it. And since he wasn't allowed to use cue cards, they wouldn't let he wouldn't allow anybody else to use cue cards, so all the people on the show had to memorize their lines for their skits too.
Macaulay Culkin or the kid or his
Macaulay
dad
Culkin's
wouldn't
dad
let
did that.
But his dad wouldn't let anybody else
Yeah.
use. Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's probably why he was emancipated.
Oh, hey, quickly before you cut off, there's one thing we can talk about.
What?
You aware of who the streamer Dr. Disrespect is?
No.
He's a big streamer. Does I think PUBG or maybe Fortnite, one of the big battle royale games. But he's like one of the top streamers on Twitch currently. The last few nights he's had several drive-bys at his house.
Really?
Yeah, it's like it sounds like it may be like the next escalation of swatting now.
Okay.
That's what swatting
Yes.
is, right? Yeah. So it seems to be possibly the new trolley thing to do now is you find out where a streamer lives to drive by and shoot at their house.
That's fucking awful.
Yes, absolutely.
The swatting thing is bad enough.
Swatting thing is
Horrific.
horrific because it's a waste of resources, time, money,
And people have been shot.
Yes, it's a huge public health thing. All for the lulz.
Fuck you if you do that.
And I concur.
All right. Well, that'll be this episode, the first of over 100 where Corey was not here.
It went pretty well.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have his priorities straight.
Nobody got angry.
Yeah. Do I get a lot angry a lot of times?
No, but nobody got angry.
All right. Katrina got
But you could.
hangry.
What? Because I like to eat?
Yeah.
She ate beforehand.
All right. That's this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds. We're out.
Good night. I love you.